Yes, it's Wednesday. Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to be talking about one big challenge, which is struggling to get clients despite doing all of the things. So, this is if you are posting and emailing and living and storying and doing all of the things, and yet nothing comes of it. You're not able to book calls, you're not able to get clients, you're not able to get engagement. Nothing really happens. And we do have someone who's going to be jumping on to do an audit, which is super exciting, at around 8:50. So we will get to do that live, hopefully, cross fingers if all things work well. So that is super exciting. But we wanted to start off by looking at the audit that we talked about yesterday and really attacking this challenge, this issue of struggling to get clients despite doing all of the things. Do you want to talk a little bit more about some examples of what this could look like?
I do. Okay. So there's a lot of different ways that this shows up, and I'll give you a couple of examples that I deal with most. So I help a lot of our clients with Facebook ads. So a lot of times people come into our programs, our coaching, and maybe they've run ads before and they have brought people in through, Facebook ads, lead gen, and now they're finding out that even though they did all the things right, they wrote the ad, they got the people in, they created the lead magnet, all of the people that they've brought in aren't actually qualified to become clients. They don't even have the problem that they solve in their business, which is upsetting to say the least.
Yeah.
Right. The same thing goes along with sending out email newsletters. A lot of our clients struggle with sending out email newsletters or sending out newsletters, and they're doing it religiously 1, 2, 3 times a week. And they're saying, I'm spending all this time researching and I'm getting all of this good information and I'm sending it out and nobody's replying. Nobody's responding. People aren't even opening it and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And I think we could go on and on with like Facebook lives and Instagram lives and posts and all of the same things. The time and effort is spent in the research and like all of, these hours are put into getting this content and information out into the world, and it falls flat.
Yes, absolutely. And this might look like to you, like Laura said, like having a Facebook group where people aren't engaging with you. Or if you're just starting and you're putting out social media posts and nothing's happening, or you're sending emails and nobody's engaging with you. That is what it looks like. And it goes back to component or pillar +1, 1, and 2. And the reason that is because you don't have a full picture of your ideal client and you're not speaking the same language. So what does that mean?
Yes.
Right? That means that that maybe you want to work with somebody who has menopausal symptoms. And you've listed out in your ideal client profile all of their physical symptoms. Sorry, my brain just stopped. All of their physical symptoms. But what you haven't done is you haven't identified the challenges that they're having, right? So there's a difference between their physical symptoms, which you can list as hot flashes and weight gain and this and that and the other thing. But when it comes to creating content, the reason that you feel like I don't know what to talk about, the reason that you're not getting engagement is because you keep talking about the symptoms only. And the issue is you haven't learned how to take the symptom and understand how that presents a challenge in their life. Like, what are the actual challenges that they're having? And then how do you help them with that? Right? Like, how do you actually help them? And so your content is very one dimensional, not because you suck at writing, not because you don't know how to help clients, not because you don't know what you're doing or you're not qualified enough. Your content is one dimensional because you didn't know that this way of communicating was a necessity in order to actually get it. Think about how you build relationships with people, right? Think about that. When you have conversations with new people that you meet, if you only talk about 3 things and you don't open up and you don't share and you don't show up you as the person, right?
Yep.
Nobody can really get to know you. Nobody can really engage with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it comes to, doing the audit and you're like, okay, my struggle is, this is what it, like, think about it this way. Like, if you say my struggle is I can't get clients, but I'm posting, I'm growing my Facebook group, I'm emailing, I'm this and I'm that, and you say I can't get clients, I'm not going to go look at your sales process yet because you can't book calls, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to look at your brand. I'm going to look at your messaging. I'm going to look at your positioning. I'm going to look at, are you setting yourself up as an authority from the start? Are you creating content that connects? Are you asking open-ended questions? Are you communicating the challenges that your ideal clients are having? Are you, as you, showing up? And that's the first step to getting clients, because it's not necessarily your sales process. I mean, it might be.
It might be, and it's almost, you want it to be because that seems like an easy fix. And this is, I think, what we see a lot of times is, our clients will come in and say, I can't make sales. My sales script is no good. Can you review it? Or, I can't make sales. My lead gen is no good. Clearly, I'm not getting the right people. Let's look at that. Right.
Or you will say, I need to pivot my ideal client, because this is a huge one. And I know that Laura addressed it yesterday in one of her coaching calls, which is why it came to mind. You will say, and tell me in the comments if this is you, be honest. You will say, I need to change my ideal client because I can't get clients. I need to change my ideal client because nobody is responding. I need to change my ideal client because I don't think people will pay. I need to change my ideal client because X, Y, and Z. And that's not actually what's happening, because if you change your ideal client and you use the same effort, not the same effort, the effort is there. Sorry, that's not what I meant. You use the same level of skill. Right? You use the same level of skill and you apply it to a new client, ideal client profile, you're going to get the same outcome. You're going to be doing the exact same thing that you were doing with the first ideal client. And you're going to apply it to the second ideal client because you haven't acquired the skill set of being able to take the profile and use it to create trust and intimacy and connection and relevancy and opportunity to demonstrate that you actually understand what their problem is and that you can take it and that you can help them. This is a learnable skill, which is why it hurts my heart when I hear practitioners and coaches go, I'm just going to try it on my own. It hurts me because I had to learn it. We had to learn it. It's marketing. We had to learn authentic communication. We had to learn this, and it bothers me that you're going to go waste time because you think that instead of learning it, you can figure it out on your own. And you're going to apply the same level of skill and mistake to this new ideal client versus understanding how to actually take the profile and build that know, like, and trust factor and stand out from the crowd using very specific strategies that work.
You know what's funny? And I can't like help bringing everything back to what we've been talking about. It's just another example of a story you've told yourself that doesn't have actual fact or data behind it. If you actually look and think for a minute, there are business schools. There is Harvard Business School. There is university level business programs, college business programs in the United States. Here in Canada's university. There's also college in Canada. People go to school for 2, 3, 4 years to learn business. But somehow we've told ourselves the story as practitioners that when we get whatever designation we are going to have, that we should just know it. We should be smart enough to just know it and be able to figure it out. And then we get completely down on ourselves and feel like we're a failure because we didn't just intuitively understand how to operate and run a business that other people go to school for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's very true. So what I want you to look at, if your challenge is, I can't get clients and I'm doing all of the things, I want you to go back and I want you to look at your content. Is it exciting? Is it emotionally charged? Right? Would you want to work with you? Are you presenting yourself in a way that excites people and motivates people to want to follow you? Are you communicating in a way that validates their challenges? Are you communicating in a way that identifies that you know what their situation is right now? Are you communicating in a way that demonstrates that you understand what their actual problem is versus the symptoms and that you have a way to help them? And if you don't know how to do that, then I highly suggest that you hire someone, a business coach, a business program, someone to teach you. This is a learnable skill. It's a learnable skill. And if you want more information about what that would look like to work with us, you can go to thewbh.com/breakthrough and book a strategy call. And think about hiring someone, a business coach, someone to teach you these skill sets. Because if you go through your content and if your content is repetitive and generic, non-emotional, flat, very educational, very tips, very recipes, very sciencey, devoid of personality, you're not able to connect, which is the number one currency you need, right? You're not able to build trust. You're not able to build rapport. You're not able to build intimacy. And therefore, they're not seeing you as relevant. They're not seeing you as timely. They're not seeing you as relevant because you're not creating an emotional reaction in their body, which is causing them to want to know more from you. And so it's not the program. It's not even the ICA. It's not the sales process. It's not your Instagram bio. It's not your, filter on your Instagram. It's none of those things. It's the disconnect between the way that you're communicating and the way that you need to communicate. If you are doing all of the things and showing up consistently and nothing's happening, that's the solution. And you need the very specific skills of how do I take the profile of my ideal client and use their challenges and use their mindsets and use their objections and use their pains and use their trial and error and use all of those things as content. You need that skill set. And when you have it, then you start getting engagement and you become relevant and you build trust and you build intimacy and you start getting people asking you questions. Oh my God, you're telling my story. And I didn't know that you did this. Can you work with me? How do I work with you? Do you have more? I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with that. Because all of a sudden you're connecting.
Yep.
So those are some of the things that we would love for you to think about. Go through your content and ask yourself those questions that I just asked you, right? And think about, okay, well, if I don't know how to do this, how am I going to acquire the skill sets to be able to do this then? So we do have Violet with us. I don't have control because you are the host.
I am going to bring Violet up.
Zoom hates me. So Violet is going to come up. We have not discussed this ahead of time. So this is exciting. For those of you watching on Instagram, maybe what I'm going to do is, I wonder if
Hi, good morning.
Go like that. There we go. I'll just hold it so you can kind of see what's happening. We're going to need to turn the volume on. Hello, Violet.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Sorry, I'm not in a position to put my video on.
Oh, that's okay. Hold on one sec. We're having all the different sounds happening. There we go. How are you?
I'm good.
Amazing.
Thank you. Much like you ladies, life is different, but
yes. Where are you living?
South Florida.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, at least it's super warm, so that's good.
Almost too warm already, but it's okay. It's good. We have sun.
Yes. All right. So tell us a little bit about what you do, and then tell us what the experience of doing the audit was like, or if you haven't done it yet, we can do it together.
I'm kind of like, don't know if I want to be on here with this audit because I'm not doing all the things. And I love the way you express that, like you're doing all the things and you're not getting anywhere. But I think my problem is, my bleeder is, I'm not doing all the things, and I didn't get a good foundation when I started my business. And so, or I should say when I started online. So I took from my physical office, brick and mortar, went online. And I think I didn't get the foundation at that time that I should have. I just went into it like, okay, I just keep doing what I was doing in my office. And when people were coming to me, and it's a very different way of marketing, it's a very different way of, well, you know this, Lori. So I just kept doing that. And so now I don't even know where to begin sometimes. Like, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that, and I'm not doing it. And I just get paralyzed. So the reason I'm alive as a business is referrals, but you can't count on a referral. You can't be consistent with with a referral based business, right? So,
and especially right now, likely you're not getting them.
No, I'm not.
Right.
No.
That's not what people are thinking about. So first and foremost, I just want to commend you on being brave and raising your hand and saying, like, yes, please rip apart my business. Because it is scary and it's really vulnerable, and nobody likes to be shown, mistakes or holes or gaps or whatever the case may be. But I really honestly commend you for being growth minded and putting aside your ego and saying, you know what, I want this and I'm committed to growth. And so if this is the best way for me to learn and grow, I'm willing to show up and ask for help. And that's amazing. And it's always interesting to me because we say this a lot, like, we're here to help, we're here to serve. I tell people to DM me all the time. We offered, to do audits. Very few people raised their hand and said, please audit my business, because they are too scared, because it's hard. And so I really want to commend you on showing up for yourself and your business. So let's just start at the beginning.
Okay.
With your ideal client. Do you have a specific ideal client?
Well, I know who I work with, who I attract is women 35 to 55 who have, tried everything to lose weight, and I'm like their last resort. And, I mostly work with one-on-one private clients. And I last year started taking my program and doing working with groups. So I just started that last year.
Okay.
And I took 2 groups through my program last year.
Amazing. That's awesome.
But they were all referrals. And let me tell you, my private clients filled my groups.
Yeah, because
But,
which is amazing. Birds of the same feather flock together.
I love it because they're all like-minded women, because they all hang with the same type women, but it's not reliable.
Right.
So, yeah.
And here's why it's not reliable, because you don't own that traffic source.
Right.
Right. And so this is where having an email list really, really comes in handy, where you're able to attract, using content, all of those like-minded women and pull them into your community, and then have them on an email list so that you can promote to them when you want to, versus relying on your past clients to promote for you only when they want to.
Right.
So
or when they happen to have a friend ask them, how did you do it? Right.
Exactly. Right. So that is like, what's the word I would use? That's like chance marketing, like by chance they refer you.
Right.
Right. It's not a strategy that you control. And so, do you have an email list?
Yes. No. It's small, and it's basically comprised of, people who have worked with me, or maybe a few people who requested a call with me but didn't work with me. And then I did do a couple workshop lectures, and so they're on there. But I don't know that they're my ideal clients. They happen to be at that workshop, right? So It is small.
Yep. So this is actually I love doing this. This is like my favorite type of jam session. So here's why Violet's business is super interesting. She already has a program. She already has the method. So you already have pillar number 4, which is the methodology. You know how you work with people. You have a method. It works. It's proven. You've run groups. We don't need to start there with you. Sometimes when people come to us, they're like, I have this idea and I don't have a program, but you do, which is amazing. And so if you said to me, okay, I need to grow my business, which is like the generalized complaint, and we went through this audit, I would be like, cool, we don't need to start with pillar 4, which is normally we go component +1, then we jump to pillar 4. We don't need to. So I would say to you, your area of focus right now really needs to be on pillar 1, which is lead gen, and pillar 2, which is nurture. Because if you are able to create a lead magnet and have that front-facing brand and that front-facing content, you will then have a reliable source of leads and you will be able to fill your groups.
Right.
So because you said I get overwhelmed and this is where I'm stuck, I would say only focus on, first and foremost, creating that lead magnet and getting that done. And then coming up with the brand and the different pieces of marketing content, your social media content, to promote it. You could, for example, send an email to every single client that you had and say, hey, I just created this free guide. Please forward it to all of your friends that you think would want it. And now you're growing your email list.
Yes, absolutely. Good idea.
Right? So that's like a very specific action step. So I wouldn't do anything until that's done. So that's where, do you want to add anything, Laura?
I feel like there's a double.
I know, because of Instagram. You know what, I'm going to make, we have to maybe Instagram. We're going to get you to go very close. We're going to get you to go over to the Take Your Health Practice Online Facebook group, because I'm going to shut this off just because there's a loop. So I will link to this later. Okay. Okay. The Take Your Health Practice this online Facebook group because I'm going to shut this off just because there's a loop. So I will link to this later.
Okay.
Okay, now we can go.
We can go.
Okay. That's your volume.
My volume. Yep. There we go. Okay. Now we can go. So this is what I wanted to add as well. What I think is really neat about your business right now, Violet, too, is that you have this group of cheerleaders that you can pull in and create like the social proof and the excitement that most people aren't able to start with. So I'm assuming you don't have a free Facebook group, but that's something that if you create this lead magnet and decide to start a community group as well, you can invite all of your clients and your cheerleaders and the people who are referring you out to come in and engage. And they are going to already create a community of engagement. They're going to be your number one fans. They're going to cheer you on. They're going to be like, yes, she knows what she's talking about. Listen to her. And that is something that a lot of people, hey, Daniel, hey, bud, a lot of people, you know, have to work really hard to build that up at the beginning, and you're going to start with that. So don't forget that that's an asset.
Yes. You know, I have, because of how I've had my clients come to me so far, a lot of them are not on Facebook. I know that like sounds odd to everybody who lives on Facebook, but they aren't. And so I have private groups for support, and they are, and many of them aren't even in there because they choose not to be on Facebook. So like we said, like-minded people. So.
And I think that listen, if that's true, then okay. But the thing that we always go back to, no, you can't tell me anything right now. You have to wait.
I'll text you.
Okay, you can text me. Is when you said a lot of them aren't on Facebook.
Right.
That's a generalized statement. And so maybe it's, 5 out of 10 of them aren't on Facebook.
Right, definitely.
Okay.
Not all of them, some of them are.
Right, exactly. So we are like, okay, cool. So the 5 people that are on Facebook, if you could promote to them and say, hey, I know you're on Facebook. I have this group. Do you want to invite some of your friends who could use some like weight loss tips and like they're, think of all your friends that are complaining about their weight that are struggling right now, like go ahead and invite them into the Facebook group. And if those 5 friends invited 5 friends, that's good.
Yes.
Right? So we're going to focus on the assets that you do have. And okay. So I would say to get unstuck. So this is like, this is one of the common things. It's like, I know I need to do all of these things. And then the list becomes big and I get into overwhelm, right? Which is what you said. And so the way that we work with our clients, which we found is really helpful, is literally only one thing at a time, because we could sit here and give you idea after idea after idea after idea. And you're like, it's like drinking from a fire hose.
Right. Which is how I feel sometimes. And so I don't do anything. I'm sure you've heard that.
Yes, of course. We all get into those cycles 100%. And so what I would say is, if the goal is to be online and to have groups that run consistently, if that's what the goal is, then we need to go backwards and say, okay, what's step 1? You already have an ideal client, so that's great. Then step 1 would be, we need that lead gen piece established so that you can start utilizing the assets that you already have, which are your current clients, your friends, your family, and giving an opportunity to them to get onto your email list. So creating the lead magnet and getting it set up would be the only thing that I focus on right now. And until that's done, you do, if you have clients that you're working with, obviously you have to help them and work with them and keep whatever machine you've got running. But in terms of, I need to do this and I need to do this and I need to do this, nope. All you do until it's done is that lead magnet and the setup of the lead magnet.
Okay.
Because until you have that, we can't build you an online audience.
Right.
that you own. You can build a Facebook group, but you don't own that. And you can't really heavily promote in your Facebook group because that's not the etiquette for Facebook groups. The you need to have an email list.
Right. Okay. So then the lead magnet and the flow of follow-up emails and all of that
Yes.
is what I need to focus on.
Yes.
And don't get too caught up in, I need to have this like very well thought out flow of emails ready and waiting before I enroll people into my lead magnet. You can do that on the fly, right? As long as you have the first 2 emails that they're going to get when they opt in, the rest can be sent out as your regular, which you will now be doing, email to your list, twice a week, 3 times a week, as often as you can, right? So don't get too caught up in that because it can hold you back from actually putting it out there.
And I'm going to just give myself a little plug here because I know that this is a problem for people. In the book I wrote.
I'm reading it.
Okay, so you reading it?
Yeah, I got the PDF version because I came to your.
Amazing. Okay.
Remember that your launch evening?
Amazing. All right. So I want you to go to page 102. And you can actually, it starts at 99, but page 102 is literally the 3 emails you need to write for your nurture sequence.
Okay.
So basically on page, hold on. 1 second. 77, I walk you through how to do a lead magnet. And then page 99, we start with the email, the 3 emails that you need. So basically, you're going to do chapter 6 and chapter 7 and don't do anything else until that's done.
Okay. I will do that. And the book's great, by the way.
Thank you. And that's it. Like, that's it. So I just want to reiterate, like, when you guys are stuck, it's because there is a lot to do. There is. And the sort of the pressure is to get it all done as quickly as humanly possible, all at the same time. But you can't. You can't get it done all at the same time. You have to do it in order, right? And the order for Violet is different than the order for Susan or Jen or Max, because Susan, Jen, and Max might not have a program, right? But Violet does. So right now, the area that is stopping Violet from moving forward is the fact that she doesn't have an audience of leads that she can market and sell to that she owns. She's reliant on referrals. And until we solve that massive bleeder, she's not going to be able to grow her business despite how good her program is. Violet, does that make sense to you?
Absolutely.
Okay. So do you feel confident that you can now focus on this and get it done?
Yeah, I like how Laura said, don't overthink it, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to overthink like until it's perfect. Oh, who wants to see this? Oh, there's 100 people. I just go through that, but I got to just do it and put it out there. And, and then with the era of how everything is now, there's so many more people. Like everyone all of a sudden is an expert and talking about what I talk about, and everybody's listening to them, and they're just home doing their thing, right? So it got more crowded all of a sudden.
Yes and no.
Okay.
You see that it's more crowded because that's the bubble you live in.
Okay.
So the way that literally the way that Google and Facebook works is once you click on someone with that interest, your newsfeed is flooded with all of those same people.
Okay.
Because they're showing you content they think you're going to be interested in. So it's a very, and I don't mean to be, this isn't going to sound what I mean it to me. It's your tiny world on Facebook. It's crafted for you based on your own interests.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah. So it might seem like that just because 10 more people got online. Now there's 10 more people in your newsfeed. But what will set you apart is your story, is your personality, is your ability to relate to your women.
Yeah.
Okay.
right? Because the recommendation of drink water, move your body, eat healthy is the same for all of us,
Right.
right? But why would people choose to work with me as the nutritionist saying those same things versus you? It's because of some people will relate better to me and some people will relate better to you. But we can't give them the opportunity to relate better to us if we personally don't show up. If we hide behind the tips and the strategies, they're going to then choose. If I hid behind 5 ways to drink water and here's your recipe for this and here's your recipe for that, versus you being like, I was embarrassed, I was vulnerable, this is my story, you're funny, you're this, you're that, you show your personality, they're going to work with you because you're giving them reason to relate to you. I am not.
Okay.
Right? So don't worry about that step yet, but get the lead magnet done because that gives you an opportunity to share. Hey, I just created this thing. I made it for you. I know you're struggling right now. Please share it with all your friends and your family who you think would benefit. And all of a sudden, they're sharing your content and you're growing your list. And you're growing your list, you're growing your Facebook group. And now you have an audience to be in front of.
Okay. So don't worry about promoting it anywhere else, just to my email list right now.
Yeah, just to the people that you normally have right now. If like first finish it.
Yes.
Step one.
Step one, do it. Step two, then you can share it. And that's it.
Okay.
2 things, that's it. Done.
Okay.
And when are you going to get it done by?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, I
that.
like Violet.
I was like going to wait. You were going to say 2 weeks, and I'd be like, let's try 5 days.
Well, you know, I've been at this for about 10 years, so there's no way that I don't have the information. I
Correct.
don't have everything. It's a matter of sitting down, doing it, and saying it's good enough.
Yes.
Love it.
Put it out
Yes.
there.
Everybody, whether you have the information or not, should be able to put a lead magnet together, the content at least 3 to 5 hours tops.
Yep.
If you've spent more than 3 to 5 hours putting together your lead magnet content and even writing the opt-in page and the thank you page, you're overthinking it. Hands down, don't care, client experience or not, 3 to 5 hours tops. So give yourself that time frame, and whatever comes out of that is the first iteration, and you can always make it better.
Yes. Okay.
Good.
Well, if that's all I'm focusing on and my couple appointments that I have, then I should be able to do it.
Love
Yeah.
it. Will you message me when it's done?
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Amazing. Any questions?
No, I also have to read chapter 6 and 7.
Yes.
That's what else I have to do. So that should help.
I love that. And honestly, I want to just honor you again because we offer to do stuff like this all the time and very few people take us up on it because they're too scared. And so I can, just by virtue of the fact that you raised your hand, you replied to me, I messaged a couple other people and they didn't. That just says a lot about your level of commitment to your business, to your clients, to yourself. And it's
or
awesome.
my desperation.
Whatever works, man. Whatever it is that is motivating you to say, please help me. I'm committed to this. Use it. Whatever it is.
Yeah. I'm at that point where it's like, okay, right now, do or die. You know?
Yeah. And having the lead magnet and having the opportunity to grow an audience and to grow a community and have a Facebook group, an audience that you own, because the email list is the only thing that you own, is the first step in getting your programs filled.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you, ladies, for this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
For doing this. So I don't know why more people wouldn't step up to offer your time this way. It's amazing, and it's 9:00 in the morning. So to get me motivated and focused for the day, because that's been one of the hardest things right now, watching you ladies, and to know that we're all in the same boat. Like, can we just get focused on what we need to do today with what's going on? You know, my situation being a little different than you, but very the same at the same time, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I thank you.
You're welcome. And you know, when you break it down to the one thing, like what's the one thing you need to do today? You need to create that lead magnet content. Okay, check. And then, you know, done. Like great. And then you feel better and you build that sort of feedback loop of I can do one thing today. Right. And then it becomes easier to focus because you alleviate the pressure of having to do 21 things. Right.
No, and that's actually very good, Lori, because, you know, I read a lot, follow people, and, you know, so like I'm brain dumping in the morning, and then I see the 100 things that I should be doing or want to do. And then it's like, so I know it sounds terrible. It sounds so childish, but then you wind up just like, oh, but I do need to do this over here, and I do need to do that over there. And I take care of my elderly mother. And, you know, so then I'm like, oh, I don't do any of them because it just, the brain dump sounds good, but it can do the opposite to you too.
I never do a brain dump in the morning, ever. I always do it at night.
Okay.
And the purpose of my brain dump is to actually get everything out of my head so that I can sleep.
Ah, okay.
And then in the night, which is part of my night routine, is I identify the one thing that I need to do the next day, the 1 to 3 things. I rarely get all 3 done, that I need to do the next day. Like, what's the one thing that I need to do to move my business forward versus the things that I need to do to keep it running currently.
So even though you're doing a brain dump of 100 things, you're choosing the 1 or 2 things to focus on.
I don't do brain dumps in the morning for ideas. That would just throw me right off.
Ooh.
No, I identify the one thing based on where I'm stuck. Where are we stuck right now? Right. And then that one thing, okay, if we're stuck, if we're, whatever it is, if whatever the stuck part is, in your case, you're stuck because you don't have an audience that you own and can market to. That's where you're stuck, right? And so doing the audit really would identify that. And so then you say, okay, well, what's the one thing that I need to do right now to get unstuck? And the one thing for you is the lead magnet.
Okay.
Right? The one thing for me might be to create some videos to nurture, whatever it is. Everybody, depending on where they're at, has a next one thing.
Okay.
So
thank you again. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you for
welcome.
showing up every day.
Yeah, please check in.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
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 Thanks again.
You're welcome. I can't remove her. You have to do it.
I can.
Oh, there, she left.
Remove herself.
That was awesome. Oh my gosh. These are so fun. I wish more people would volunteer and not be so scared. We're not, you know, like we're not like dragons being like, I feel like that's sometimes how people are like, I'm not going to be like,
yeah, it's all kind. It's all done with kindness and love.
It's for your benefit. Anywho, that was super fun. Thanks again, Violet. That was amazing. I hope that this was helpful for all of you. The audit is so key because here's what could have happened. And we see this all the time, and then we'll wrap it up. Violet could have said, my program needs adjusting.
Mm-hmm.
I can't grow my business. My program needs adjusting. I need to fix my modules. I need to da-da-da-da-da with my program. I need to get it into Kajabi or this or that and the other thing. And she would have just spent 2 months working on her program, but that's not where she's stuck at all. Like she needs to pay 0 attention to her program. Even if she had 30 people register her for her program, she could email it out. The program's done.
Yep.
That's not the bleeder for her. And this is the mistake that we see. And I'm saying this with all due respect. It's because you don't know what you don't know. And we can come in and look and go, no, actually, it's not the program. It's that you don't have pillar 1 and 2.
Yep.
So go spend time on pillar 1 and 2, and then we can fill the program.
Yep.
So this is why investing in working with a coach that knows the model, that understands the business, that can help you get unstuck is such a solid investment. Because
Yeah.
you can't see where you're stuck. And if you could, you wouldn't be stuck. So that's my sales pitch for today. If you would like our help, you can go to thewbh.com/breakthrough. We're just here to help you. We are literally just here to get you unstuck and into momentum.
Literally.
That's it. That's all. Have a wonderful Wednesday. We will be back again tomorrow. If you would like an audit, put audit in the comments and I will reach out. Have a good day.
Bye, guys.